All right, what's up, my man? Back with
All right,
another.
and we're on. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Napoleon and Gueco podcast. How are you doing today, Gueco?
Doing well, as always. Feeling
Yes.
strong.
So I noticed that you have a different background today. Are you somewhere else? You're on the road?
Yeah, man. I'm in Maine. You know Maine, the state?
Yeah. I know the capital of Maine. I haven't been to Maine before. I just know it's far out.
Oh, what is the capital? Is it Augusta?
It is, yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm out here. So different place, different background, different chicks out there. You know? Same chicks, but you know everything's good over here, man. Quick story. I had sold a bike 2 years ago, so I'm here every summer. And I had sold a bike to a guy
Wow.
for $100.
Okay.
Nice bike, you know. I took care of it. It had new tires, chain, but I just wanted to get rid of it real quick. Was a nice guy, so I gave it to him for $100. 2 years later, I missed the bike, so I go back to him. Hey man, you still have that bike that I sold you? Like, it's for sale for $150. He put in like a nice mirror. He put in a few things, like a water bottle thing. He's like, I told him the story that actually those $100 that I got for the bike, I actually was stolen from me. Yeah, I left my door open at my place, just slightly ajar. I thought it was closed, right? And it wasn't fully open. Fully closed. When I came back, and I had left the money right there on the table. So as soon as you walked in, you could see it. Money was gone.
Oh,
so I never got to enjoy those $100 that I got for the bike.
That sucks.
But the guy, I tell him the story, he's like, just have it for $100. So he gave it to me back for $100, which was awesome. So now I got a new bike, which was my old bike, but now it's upgraded. It's got a phone holder, water bottle holder, the whole shebang, little mirror. That was nice because I have to turn, Now I could just look at the mirror. I kind of look like a cop out there with that thing.
Now you just need some flashing lights and the right people speeding tickets.
Oh, yeah, I don't want to get pulled over on a bike.
No, no, you can pull other people over, get your $100 back.
There you go. Yeah, I think that's a federal crime, but if I'm feeling up for it.
So,
what about you, man? What's been going on with you?
With me,
comedy?
Yeah, been trying to go out to more open mics. I do have a couple of shows coming up. Just trying to stay at it, trying to get involved, trying to work on my stuff, and just improve. And I do know there is a comic I know by the name of Adam Dominguez, and he's a famous headliner out here. He's been doing comedy for a long time. He's very professional. And one thing that he does talk about sometimes, and I actually have followed him before because it's free, he has an OnlyFans account. And I know that's not like a common thing. I know it's like mostly a sex worker thing. But he does have an OnlyFans account, and it's free to subscribe, but of course you gotta pay for the good stuff. But I'm actually proud of him for doing it because he's definitely making some good money, or at least some decent money on the side, because his whole joke about being a comedian, like, they have all these Instagram models on OnlyFans, and they constantly brag, hey, I'm the top 1% of OnlyFans content creators, so he put in his description bottom 0.01% of OnlyFans, but now actually he ran some statistics, or he was able to kind of see some data based on, recent traffic on his OnlyFans account, and he's actually in the top 40% right now of OnlyFans content creators. So I'm actually very happy for him.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that he's getting something out of it.
Yeah.
So apparently there are plenty of people out there who are unlocking his content.
Plenty of guys.
Guys? Well, I think a lot of women are doing it too.
Wait. You actually think women are paying to subscribe to OnlyFans to see guys?
Well, it's free to subscribe, but you gotta pay to see all the videos and stuff that he makes. Why wouldn't they?
Do you pay for his private stuff?
Not really, but
Okay, good.
one time,
you're already subscribed to Tom Brady. We know that. We know that much.
well, not his OnlyFans, but yes, I know what you're talking about.
All right. No, that's cool, man. Hey, kudos, man. I wish I had the balls to get on OnlyFans. I don't think anybody wants to see my junk, though, man. It's
well,
not.
same over here. I mean, he does decent enough to be in the top 40%, but you think it's only guys who are paying for his stuff?
I would guess so. I don't know, man. I don't know, but I don't know. I can't think of any girl I know that would pay for porn. Maybe they do. Maybe they're so secretive about it that I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But I guess a lot of them can just get what they want whenever they want it. So
maybe out of curiosity, like 1 month. I don't think they'll keep the ongoing subscription for yearly. I don't think they're getting the yearly discount there. That's just my guess.
Yeah. Well, since it's free to subscribe, there are no yearly discounts. It's all just, you can see what he posts, like just little posts here and there free. Because on OnlyFans, if you subscribe, you can see like what they post, just like Facebook or Instagram. They just kind of have some posts, and they have photos, like whatever they post, it's free just to watch, or it's included if you subscribe. But then in your personal messages, then they have videos or photos you could pay to unlock. You know, that's a lot of his X-rated content, which he does charge for that. But I know he's out there hustling, so I'm glad to hear. I'm hoping he's making good money on it. So what are you out in Maine for?
Yeah, man. So I teach tennis every summer out here in Maine. You know, I'm a tennis teaching pro.
Right.
You know, so anybody that wants a lesson from me has to pay a hefty fee for an hour. And I make my money that way for the summer. And then when the summer is over, I do a little bit of teaching here and there, but I get to do other things. So it's something of a seasonal job that I've been doing for the last 12 years. I've been doing that.
Oh, 12.
Traveling different places. Yeah.
That's about as long as Adam Dominguez has been doing comedy. So glad to hear that. And I imagine
I've been doing comedy. I started when I was like, I want to remember, I think it was 33 years old. I'm 41 now. So
really,
it's been
I would
a while.
not have guessed that.
Yeah.
Time
but
flies.
I did stop for a few years, like after COVID, it just, for me, was kind of over, like it wasn't not because of COVID, but just like, I never again felt like that passion that I had before for it. But I still do it. You know me. If you give me a stage and a mic, I'll get up there.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. I've seen you. You've always made me laugh.
I know, man. You're one of my biggest fans, man. I love it.
Exactly.
You got a good sense of humor. That's what it is.
Yeah, and I think that's eventually what led us to starting this podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly, man. That's what I really liked about that place. Is like I got to meet a few a few, not because there's only a few, but I'm not a very extrovert that I want to meet everybody, but I did meet a few really cool people that I, every time I see, I'm like, hey man, it's like great. We have shoot the shit, make each other laugh a little bit, and get the fuck on,
Right.
But yeah, and the problem with me is I'm horrible with names. Like horrible, like especially last names. Like there's some friends that I have, I still don't know their last name. Like, and they've been friends forever. But so then that's like half of comedy right there, because every comedian has first and last name. So it's hard for me to remember those guys. Yours is kind of a lot easier to remember. Especially because you really stood out when you did comedy with your headlining or doing the hosting. You pay attention to the guy that's, a little more loud, a little more confident on stage. So I always appreciated your professionalism on the mic.
Right. No, I always try to do that. And a lot of the reason I got involved in comedy was there's a lot of hosting involved. And my dream job is to be a game show host. And when they were letting me host back at the open mic at that comedy club that I used to work at in San Antonio, I just really enjoyed it. I mean, they didn't pay me to do it, but I was just glad to get up there and host, and that's what eventually led other comics to saying, "Hey, I'm out of town for this show this night. Can you host the open mic for me?" And usually they'd pay me a little thing, even if it was $20 or something. I was still
Hey,
glad to
man,
do it because,
more than I ever made doing
right,
comedy.
I don't really see it as, "Hey, I'm trying to make a living. I'm trying to make like as much money as I can." But the way I see it is I'm doing this for fun. And if I get any money out of it, that's great. But at the same time, I'm not going there just expecting all that money. I know what you're saying about the whole pandemic thing. There were some other comics who, once the pandemic hit, they kind of like flew under the radar, or they maybe weren't coming out as much. I love being on stage, and that's a lot of the reason I'm just trying to stay with it right now. I've definitely got more time on my hands just because I don't have a full-time job right now. But I know you were talking about how you're coaching tennis and that, people are paying you for lessons. I mean, I imagine you're charging a lot more than Adam Dominguez does on his OnlyFans.
Well, yeah, but it's not a subscription. I much rather have people subscribe to my shit. That's a real money maker, man. You get somebody to pay you monthly,
Right.
even if it's $5, it adds up. And you can have so many people from everywhere. I'm stuck with somebody for an hour, not in a bad way, not like I'm stuck with them. Like I'm there. I have to be there while he's making money. He's not even doing anything except showing his junk, which kudos to that.
Definitely,
But,
he has a lot more guts than I do to do that stuff. But
hey, man, and it takes. I never hated on like guys that like, for example, like male strippers.
right,
It's like,
yeah, Magic Mike Live.
imagine, but think about this, okay? I don't know about you, but and I don't, I'm not saying this to brag or to even make it a headline or anything, or get some clickbait. But I mean, it's not something I'm bragging about, but I attract a lot of like, guys that like guys, I don't know what it is, to be honest. I wish I had that kind of energy with women, but no, I am cursed to, and I'm always like, they come up to me or whatever, they hit on me, and I'd be like, hey, man, you're cool. Like, I'm not, but whatever, like, we can be cool. It's not like, oh no, I don't get freaked out or anything. So it takes like, I've never been a male stripper, but I imagine that you have to deal with that as a male stripper. You got guys coming at you, and if they're paying you, like throwing money at you, what are you gonna do? Tell them to fuck off when they're throwing money at you? So I've always like admired that about guys, because it takes a certain confidence in yourself to be okay with it, because it's not like it's not like they're doing anything aggressive or anything. They're just they're just being girls, I guess. But
I know what you're saying, but hey,
in any case, I respect it. That's what I'm trying to say. That's the whole point of the shit.
right?
I respect that shit,
And I'm sure there's some way you could use it to your advantage. Because hey,
no, you can't mess around with that. No,
all right.
I mean, you do you. If you want to do that shit. But no. I mean, you use it to your advantage as a business. Like if you're a male stripper and they're throwing money at you, yeah. I mean, that's yes. In that sense, yes. You just don't let it get anywhere, crossing any other line, other than that, But yeah, my buddy too. Also, like when we were kids, he used to say like he was a waiter. And he'd be like, man, he used to work the night shift. And he said that like at 3 a.m., all these gay guys would come to his, to his table, and he would just flirt with them and make a bunch of money.
Yeah.
And everybody, that was in high school. Like we were like,
right.
I don't know, 19 years old or whatever. And he'd be like, some guys would laugh at him like, hey, no, but I was like, yeah, man, that's smart, that's smart. Like, and the guy would just like, like do all these shenanigans for them and stuff, and they love that shit. So, hey, like I said, I'm not. Maybe he does have a few girls here and there joining his OnlyFans, but
it doesn't really matter. Money is money, no matter who's paying for it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So he's got a better job than me. I'll tell you that. Well, I don't know. But
eventually, if it does get, I know he doesn't charge for subscriptions, but you do have a point there that people are paying you for something monthly, no matter what.
Yeah, man.
The more it adds up. That's what they say is the key.
And it's scalable. It's scalable because if you keep working at it, I mean, if you get one person to subscribe, that means somebody likes it, right? One person at least likes it. So what's to say that 10,000 other people don't like it? You just have to like keep doing it until it gets out there.
Exactly. That's what he's been doing, and he made a joke about being like the lowest on OnlyFans, and now he's going up there. So,
hey, good for him, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I mean, and the thing is, like, it's not easy, man. It's a lot of work. You and I, just to get this podcast going, we spent like an hour shooting ourselves in the head.
Right, just trying to test our microphones, make sure we could hear each other, that we could record video and all that.
So can you imagine making content on a regular basis? It's like, imagine you're like doing this whole photo shoot for OnlyFans, and then your mom knocks on the door.
Uh-oh.
Now you got to suspend the chat and just basically put a pause on the thing.
Right. Well, he doesn't live with his mother, but
no, I meant maybe she comes to his house, like.
Right. No, I know what you're saying, but he would probably be ready for that. Now, funny story though, I went to do a guest spot with him when I last visited San Antonio because he was.
Oh yeah, I saw you guys. Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, he was headlining at the comedy club I used to work at, and he let me.
Yeah, he did a really good set, man. He stole the crowd that day. He really did.
Oh yeah, at the open mic. Set. But yeah, he also had a really good set at the comedy club that night. And the funny thing was, his mom lives in San Antonio, and at the end of the show, he brought her on stage, and he actually talked about his OnlyFans, said, okay, and my mother is just finding out that I have an OnlyFans account. But, hey, if you can get
your mom finds out, man, that's it.
That's it. No, but, she kind of laughed it off and stuff like that, so...
I guess so.
He's making the best.
It's like being a male stripper. Like, I don't think your mom's gonna dog you too much for being a male stripper. That's how I kind of compare it to, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, he's really good at what he does, and you find some way of getting passive income. That is the key to financial success, right there. So otherwise, you're just going to be living.
And it's passive. In quote, it's not really passive because you still got to do all this shit. Still got to work.
Right. And I know what a lot of content creators do is they will film a lot of videos and stuff like that, and then once they have a pretty good bank, usually they will just repost videos and ask for unlocks.
But still, that's that takes work too. Like
it does, and sometimes like some of them they'll say active now like 24/7, which we know they're not vampires. They have to sleep. They're not going to be on OnlyFans all of the time. They pay people to manage their account, usually do a lot of their posting and stuff. Maybe like they just film the videos and then they have some managers who go around and then just post their stuff. Usually it's like a lot of the porn stars because they're still shooting scenes, but then they will still have somebody managing their OnlyFans account, so they're still making that money on the side or all that, passive income. So people who are more amateurs, they probably have to manage it all themselves. But I know so many people that will make so much money off of OnlyFans. But it does take.
I actually never met anyone that, well, not that I know of, like that somebody that makes like a bunch of money off that. And I think the numbers are a little bit skewed, or like the perception of it. I think a lot of people don't make shit. Like I think
really,
I heard something about the average account makes about like $200 a month or something like that, like $300 a month. So yes, there's people who make millions, right? Yes, but what percentage? This is like everything, right? Like you check out Instagram's percentages, is like most people have like between 100 to 2,000 followers, and then those people that have like 10,000 and stuff, they're the pyramid gets steep quickly. So
right,
but the thing is, like, okay, so let's say you're doing OnlyFans. Are you gonna be like, oh, I do OnlyFans and I don't make any money? It's like, That's the worst thing you can say about yourself, right? Like you're already doing the shittiest job that, well, the whole that has a bad connotation to it, like sex worker or whatever, and you're broke doing it. So it's like I think people kind of hype up how much they make on it just to be okay, like because nobody really, except for OnlyFans, structure like their departments or whatever, get to see how much you really make. So if I do OnlyFans and I tell you I make 10,000 a month, you're gonna believe me because I have OnlyFans. You can pay $14.99 for how many people are actually really subscribing. And I think just in essence, you need sheer quantity, like just a shitload of quantity, a titty here, titty there, and just a bunch of it. Because how crazy is it that like porn stars you mentioned, right? How can a 50-year-old porn star still be making videos? She's made so many videos already.
Right. They're just
you can never like finish them.
They're just posting a lot of their older content, and even if it's like $10, that's still
they're still
adds
making
up.
new content. Is what I'm trying to say. They're still like there's a 50-year-old, porn star that's been doing videos since she was 20, and she's still making them. It's like,
oh yeah,
I mean more, new one.
A lot of them,
that's it.
Until they just retire, a lot of them don't really leave the industry. I mean, some of them, they'll like end up like quitting maybe at an early age. Most of them will end up going back, and a lot of them, they will just keep doing it till they make enough. I know a lot of them, they'll post some of their older videos on OnlyFans. Like I said, they'll just recycle them, and even if they sell them real cheap, it's like, hey, $10 off of a video that's 10 years old. Why not? It's going to add up.
Who's buying these videos, by the way? Like, well, I know who is. Guys.
Well, yeah, I mean, right. And that's the thing is that, I mean, you might have a point there, because anytime I see people who are making a bunch of money, it's usually those who brag about being in the top 1%. And most of them are like these Instagram models where they kind of use Instagram as a way to lead people to their OnlyFans, because you go to their profile and then it has what they call link tree. And Linktree can be used just to promote all of your links, like all of your social media and stuff. Which
I have a Linktree on my Instagram.
Yeah.
Not that it ever gets clicked.
I'm trying to start one right now to like kind of promote my social media and to promote this podcast. But a lot of them, they can't really include the OnlyFans in their profile description, but they can put in the Linktree. And so a lot of them, you go to their Instagram and then you subscribe to their OnlyFans. And a lot of them, they're making millions off of it. But kind of like what you said, not everyone is in the top 1%. So it's very possible when you hear about people making money, it's just those Instagram models. And it's probably, it's probably not a whole bunch of them. You just kind of see like 10 of them that make a bunch of money. And you're like, man, it must pay really well. But, it's not the case for everybody.
Have you seen those like AI OnlyFans chicks?
I've heard stories about it. I just think that's kind of dumb, because it's like...
It's not, bro. Let me tell you something, okay? I was like scrolling on Instagram. And not that I'm a 40-year-old guy. So what is Instagram going to give me? Hot chicks, hot 20-year-old chicks on my thing every day. No matter how many safeguards I put in or, block all, inappropriate content. No, I still get bombarded with 20-year-old chicks. And as I'm scrolling down, I see this one. And I'm like, oh my God, this girl's fucking gorgeous. So I look at her page, I'm like, what? This girl's amazing. She's not real. She's made up. But I was still like, damn.
Yeah.
Like she seems so real. She seems so real. Like, because, it's like, she probably does exist, right? I mean, she's been created, to make her look like something incredibly beautiful. Maybe she's out there. But yeah,
they could have been. Yeah, they could have been based off of a real person. But I know there is AI generated models that look like people. I don't know. I think it's kind of crazy, because it's like, okay, so you pay for their content. It's not a real person. Who's taking the money?
Guys.
Hey, why not?
Like nerdy guys.
They found a way to tap into the system, but I know
because they're making this chick mathematically attractive.
Okay.
Like, there's no, like, it's not like another chick, like a regular chick or a real chick that, she has maybe something that it's not like it turns you off, but like, no, it's like she's perfect, you know, proportion. And I think this, like, they figure out the mathematical equation to get from your eyes to your junk in like milliseconds with watching this chick. So it's like, how can you compete with that, right? Like, not chicks, real chicks cannot compete with that.
Oh no.
Because you know,
And
and she looks like a real chick. That's the problem.
Exactly.
She looks so much like a real girl. Like, you could think that she's out there, even though she's not. But
right.
you see her doing this, doing that, you know.
Oh, AI is really taking over stuff, and it's really becoming a part of people's lives more than they want it to be, or possibly more than they know it. And I went out to the Sphere in Las Vegas, and it was like $2.3 billion for them to make that. But I encourage everyone to go, just to have the experience of just going to the Sphere and just getting to see the whole thing lit up, maybe going to their little show over there. But the first half is you talking to robots, and they have a lot of it is promoting AI, and they have these robots. You could ask them just about any question, and it would be similar to you asking Siri or ChatGPT, but you have an actual robot talking to you, and you can tell they're robots because, like, they have all the metal and stuff, but you could actually put, like, body parts, or you put, like, clothes over them, and maybe, you know, put, like, you know, face mask or flesh mask, stuff like what they did in Mission Impossible. And you would think that they could possibly be real people. So it is definitely something that's taken over a lot of stuff. It could start to be that there could be robots in front of us and we won't even know it. And I don't know. I mean, sure,
that's still like the actual physical body of someone. I don't think it's too close, but you know, when you're talking to someone online,
right?
I mean, those days are over when you actually, I mean, unless you're using, like, you know, Facebook or whatever, where you've been talking to the same person, and you know they're real, but you meet a new person online, like, who knows, you know?
Right.
Who knows? Yeah.
So I know you talked about being in Maine, you're coaching tennis, and you're teaching people how to play. So I imagine you've been keeping up with the French Open tournament right now.
I actually haven't. Yeah, I'm bad at that. But what's been going on? I mean, I like to know. I do. I just been doing other shit. But what's been going on?
Well, I know you keep up with tennis a lot more than I do, but I
do it for work. Like, honestly, I like to play and not watch so much.
Right.
But
I know you know a lot of the good players.
There's always a screen with the tournaments going, you know. So
exactly.
I catch it up a little bit. But yeah, I don't really keep up, to be honest, with any sport or anything. I like to play. I like to, like, you know, it's like I see the NASCAR guys driving. I'm like, I want to drive. I want to watch you drive. I want to drive.
That's kind of the way I am about being on stage, because it's like I'll see people performing, and I'll be like, sure, I like to watch game shows and stuff, but I kind of get that feeling too. Is like, I don't want to watch someone hosting a game show. I want to be the one hosting it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, long story short, you know all the good players. Rafa Nadal gets beat in the first round of the French Open, and then Novak Djokovic had to withdraw from the tournament in the quarterfinals.
Dang, I didn't hear any of that. That's crazy.
I wanted to get your opinion on that.
Well, you know, Rafa is just, you know, he's the best player ever lived in the history of tennis, but he's old now. Like, I mean, his body has taken so much shit that
I know.
And the kids coming up are strong, man. Like, it's so crazy how good they are too. It's like, you know, Nadal and Federer and Djokovic paved the, and even Murray. If we're, you know, aware of Murray.
Yeah, Andy
those
Murray.
four guys were, like, you know, basically pushing the boundaries of, you know, winning and playing at a high levels for so much. But now the kids are coming up, they're doing that same thing, you know, already, because it's like the new generation. So Nadal getting beat in the first round doesn't surprise me as much as it would surprise me that he won the whole thing. So neither of those would surprise me as much. But having said that, I didn't think he would go to the final this year. I mean, I thought, of course, quarterfinals, semifinals, first round. Do you know who he drew? Like, did he draw like this? Probably not even a big player or something, was it? Oh, he lost to Zverev. Okay.
Oh, Alexander Zverev.
Yeah. No, then yeah.
That would
No,
make
I mean,
sense. And actually,
yeah.
Zverev
That's a tough draw, man. That's a really tough draw, man. That's Zverev guy. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
and he's ranked as number 4, and then who is it?
Yeah. What? That's crazy. He drew him on the first round. That is nuts that they actually did that to him. That's nuts, man.
Well, I think since he hadn't been able to play as much, he
Yeah,
doesn't really have a rank anymore.
It's cruel, man. You drop off in rankings like that.
You do. And since he's getting older, he hadn't been able to play as much. Age has just caught up to him, and then you don't rank anymore. And that's probably why, they just paired him with who's currently ranked as number 4. And Zverev, funny thing was, in the last Summer Olympics, which he'll probably be playing again this year, he is the one who beat Djokovic in the Olympic tennis, I believe, in the semifinals. And it was so weird because at first Djokovic, because they only have to win best of 3 sets.
Right.
Not best of 5 like in the Grand Slams.
Right.
So the first set, Djokovic just destroyed him like 6-1. Second set, it was like Djokovic was about when he was kind of ahead. They were like basically both players were holding, and then Zverev broke him, and then won the set. And then
I think I remember that. Yeah, it was a hardcore, wasn't it? Hardcore.
Yeah, it was like it was. I was surprised because like Djokovic had it, and then I know they say tennis, most of it, sure, you do have to be fast. You got to be good at like hitting the ball, but a lot of it is mental. And it was so weird. Djokovic just kind of lost momentum. And I could tell in the third set, Zverev was like breaking him there. And Djokovic was behind. And I couldn't tell what he was saying because he was like speaking in Serbian. But he was like yelling out. You could tell he was pretty mad. But, I felt sorry for him. But at the same time, it was kind of funny just to kind of watch people freak out like that. And I think he kind of like slammed his tennis racket. And I know that's kind of a penalty, but then, Djokovic, he hurt himself too. I mean, it's kind of like what you said. Rafa Nadal is good, but Djokovic, he just doesn't lose. That's how he's probably one of the best players, and he probably would have won the tournament too. But if he didn't hurt himself,
that's the thing, is like
kind of catching up to him too.
Exactly, they cannot stay healthy for that long and that level. Man, that Zverev, I have no like.
But Zverev could end up winning the French Open, and who was it? Casper
Ruud. He could,
Casper Ruud, I believe.
I doubt it. I mean, actually, maybe Tsitsipas might pull one off. Player. Now that Nadal and Djokovic are not there, because he's more of a mental guy. Like, he has the game to win the whole Grand Slam.
Yeah, well, I don't think Tsitsipas is not in the tournament anymore. So,
what?
The first semifinal will be Casper Ruud and Alexander Zverev.
Oh, okay.
And that will be interesting.
Where are we now? Are we at the quarters or what?
The semifinals now.
Semis already? Wow. Okay,
right, and so we have the current number 2 and number 3 player in the other semifinal match, and who was it? Jannik Sinner, who was from Italy, and then Carlos Alcaraz.
Oh, Sinner. Yeah.
Who's also from a Spanish player. Alcaraz. I think when it comes to tennis, if you want to see the up-and-coming players, Carlos Alcaraz is the one to watch.
He actually, now that I see the draws, Alcaraz is gonna win. I mean, he's the actually Sinner's seated.
He's seated as number 2. Alcaraz is 3 right now.
I have always said that Sinner is underrated. Like, he's about to pull one, and I don't know why. Like, he loses, or he hasn't like really won anything major.
Right.
I think he will. I think once he gets a hold of like a spot, he's gonna be maybe one to watch, like Djokovic or something. Like, he's really, really good.
Absolutely.
And then Alcaraz, I think, is kind of like a Nadal, where he's more likely to get injured, or I don't know if you've heard that he.
Well, they're both from the same country.
yeah. Their bones are weak.
I don't know, but yeah. But that's the thing. I mean, he is a good player, but also the fact that he's also from Spain. I see Carlos Alcaraz as the new Rafa Nadal. Yeah. Well, Gueco, looks
Yeah,
like
man.
we're running short on time here. So I think this will be a good time to wrap up this podcast. I'm so glad we got to get together today and do another episode. And
Yeah, man.
yeah, hopefully we can just keep this up, and hopefully you all will keep tuning in to watch us.
And stay
So-
tuned for my OnlyFans page. It's coming up. I'll send you a link, of course. You get
Okay.
a freebie, Napoleon.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Get
well,
discount. Maybe
that's
not a freebie, a discount.
Oh, discount. Okay. Well, that's only fair,
Discount.
right? Okay. Well,
Right.
until
All right,
next
man.
time, we will see you right here at the Napoleon and Gueco podcast. Goodbye, everybody.
Peace.
Peace.